see. Let me get this going here. Get this set up beforehand. That over to the side. One more thing. Come on. Okay. Let's get this going. Hello, everybody. Oh, hi. Wait, why am I hearing myself? Wait, why am I hearing myself? This is going to irritate me. Oh, probably because there. Actually, I don't need that going. Is that better now? Yeah, I don't hear myself. You mean that? You know what? I'm going to save the rest of this yarn and make something specific for Norfairy. I don't know what. You know what? I can't guarantee this, but this might have been some of the yarn that you guys gave me. No, no, Norfairy. I am not doing that. Okay. Let me get this going. Yeah, you did. All I'm doing today is I'm just doing crochet. Previous streams earlier, well, last week, I just did some basic stitches. This isn't going to be anything as exciting. Maybe after I do a little bit of this, I might do a couple more Christmas ornaments that I've done previous. Maybe another no sew quilted one, pine cone, a gnome, or actually, I already have it prepped. Some more of the folded stars. Yes, I did. I just did 10 chain stitches. For anybody else who's joining or watches this when I upload it, um, that's just a simple chain stitch. I have a previous video that goes into detail how to do that. What I'm doing here is I'm going to do a row of singles and then I'm going to show you how to increase and decrease. So I got a row of 10 and I'm going to single stitch into every chain in that row. Do you guys know how to increase and decrease? Did I teach? Well, I didn't teach nor fairy. Did I teach you increasing and decreasing? It's really easy. Okay, it's really, really easy. So that's 10 stitches because I had 10 chains. So that's 10 stitches. So if the next row, if I want 11, this is what we do. We're going to chain one, we're doing single crochet. So we want 11. So all we do is in that first chain, and we're just doing single crochet. We're not doing anything fancy. So we have 10, so we want 11. So we're going to do 2 single crochets in that stitch. So that's 2, 3. Each additional one has 1. Oops, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I go through that last stitch can be a bitch. 11. So all I did was, in one of them, I added 2. That's increase. That's all you do. You add an extra stitch. Now, you two what? So now let's say that's 11 stitches that we just did on this last row. Well, if we want to go down back to 10, this is how we do it. You you can I don't want to know. I don't want to know. So we're going to chain 1. So now we have 11 stitches here, but we want this row to make 10. So what we do is we insert the hook into that first stitch, bring it through, and just do a slip stitch. So that kind of becomes invisible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's all increasing and decreasing is. So if you increase, and you can't really see much of what's a slip stitch. I'll show a slip stitch in a second. You really can't see it because it went from 10 to 11 to 10. But, all. So to increase, you just, let's say you had 10 stitches and you needed to increase it to 20. Well, that's easy. In every stitch, you do 2. And decreasing, you just do a slip stitch. And Nor Fairy wanted to know what a slip stitch is. Okay. I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera because of the angle and the lighting and everything. Okay. So I have 10 stitches here on this row. Slip stitch is used if you're going to decrease, and also if you're crocheting in the round like a granny square or a circle. It's used to connect the round together. So if you go around in a circle, when you go back to get to it, there's other uses for it also. So a slip stitch is this. So let me get my little pointer. The stitch is right here, and let me zoom in. Let me get my zoom mechanism going. I should have been doing this the whole time. Okay, so there's our stitch that we're going to stitch into. So I've already done our chain, our turning chain. Now a slip stitch is this. We're going to put our hook into the stitch, yarn over, and bring it through. So now we have 2 on the hook. That's what we yarned over, and that's our original loop. We're going to bring this loop through that loop. So let's try it again. So we're going to put it into the stitch, yarn over, bring through, and then we're going to continue bringing that loop through the loop that's on the hook. That's a slip stitch. So you're going to put your hook in, yarn over, bring through, and then continue it through the loop that's on the hook. It's used, again, like I said, for decreasing. Well, a join is something different. A join is, it could be 2 different things. A join is, let's say you've got a piece here and another piece here. You have 2 separate pieces, and you can join them or seam them together. Or the other join is if you're going to change colors. And that's something I can show also. Let me just rip out some of those stitches. No, they didn't lie to you. There could be different terminologies. No. There could be different terms used at different times depending on when the book was written and published, and also what country they're from. So if it was written with a UK Supernatural, if it was written in the UK, their hook sizes are different. Even though the millimeter size is the same, like this is a 5.5 millimeter, in the US it's an eye hook. In the UK it's something else. The sizes are different. So the terminologies can be different. Like in the UK, they call a single crochet something different than what we call it. So that could have been it, or it could have been the time period when the book was written, or there could be a lot of factors involved, or it could have been the person writing it was used to calling it something else. The way I was taught was a slip stitch is that stitch I demonstrated, used for decreasing and for, well, kind of joins. It'll join if you're doing a circle or granny square, anything crocheting in the round, it'll join that round together to make a full finished circle. So in that sense, it's a join. Okay, so if we're going to change colors, so that, yes, it is a join when you're doing in a circle. So we're going to change colors. So this row here is obviously orange. So the next row we're going to want to use gray. That's okay. Glad you could stop by. And hopefully Riley has fun. So you're going to put your hook in. Exactly, Supernatural. A single crochet here, and in the UK they call it a double crochet, which I don't know what they call a single crochet. Well, our single crochet. Yeah, get her a Twitch account. Okay, we're gonna put the hook into we're changing colors, so we're gonna put the hook into the stitch and pull up. So we have 2 on the hook, but then we're gonna take our second color, and then everybody joins differently when they change the color. I'm just gonna put it in there, and now coming out of the stitch, this is the way I do it. Coming out of the stitch is the gray, and I'm going to finish that stitch with the gray. So now you're going to have, this is the working yarn. This is the yarn coming from the ball of yarn. And that is my working yarn from the orange, and that's the tail of the gray. Well, cool. Well, thank you. Now, Supernatural or Daniel, you can help clarify some things. Thank you. So now, that's how we've joined the color, and now do our turning chain, and then we're going to continue with the row that I'm working on, and again, just single crochet. Oh, you didn't know how to join? And then that way, your edges are going to be a little more neat here. I mean, this is just a small little sample, so it's, but your colors, yeah. Now, when I taught you years ago, I think what I was doing is I was finishing the row. Oh, okay. Well, in the other Daniel's Discord, and most of the people in here aren't in that Discord, but I don't know how to send links, to post links in here. I haven't figured all the technical stuff out with Twitch yet. But if you post it there, then maybe I'll be able to find it and oh, well, that works. That works too, live. Okay. So the way I used to do it was I would finish off the row, tie off, and then start. This here, you don't have to worry about that. I just leave a long enough tail, and I'm going to clip my yarn. That's more than enough tail to use. And then you can just continue. That way, when you're done and you weave your tails in, it has a little bit more nicer finish, and you're not going to feel that knot, that little bit of lump that's in there. Okay, so that was decreasing. Speaking of the round, we're going to crochet in the round. Now, I don't know if I taught you how to crochet in the round. I mean, obviously, Norfairy has done that. Maybe you know from him or whatever. I don't remember. It's been, how many years has it been since I taught you? Okay. There are two ways to start with this. You can start with a normal chain, and I'm going to show you that example. So we're going to do a normal slip stitch like you would normally do rows, and I'm going to chain, let's say 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then what you would do is you would do a slip stitch, like we mentioned before, into the very first chain, not the chain closest to the hook, not the chain there, but the chain that you first did. So we're going to go into that last chain, bring up the stitch, and then bring it through, and that's make a slip stitch. And now you've got a ring here in the center. Then it's easier to show, and most likely, not always, but usually you're going to do a double crochet. You can do singles, but let's do a double crochet. So we're going to chain 3 to get our turning chain, because the way I was taught, if you're going to do single crochets, you chain 1. If you're doing a half double, you chain 2. If you're doing a double, you chain 3. If you're doing a triple, you chain 4. There are people who do that do it slightly different. I think they'll do 1 chain for a single, and 2 chain for either a half double or a double, and 3 chains for a triple. This is the way I was taught. I don't think there's any real hard and fast rule, but this is the way I was taught. So we've done our 3 chains. You're going to wrap it like a double crochet, and you're going to insert your hook into the center of the ring. You're not going to go through an individual stitch. So you're going to go through, you're going to pick up. You've got 3 on the hook. And I could have been using a brighter color yarn. Actually, let me do that. Let me switch back to the orange just so you can see it. I should have planned that ahead. So again, we're going to make a slip knot, and we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to slip stitch into the very beginning chain that we first did. Yarn over, bring it through, and bring it through. Move our tail to the back. We're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to yarn over, insert the hook into the center of the ring, bring it up, 3 on the hook, yarn over, bring through the first 2, yarn over, bring through the last 2. And whatever your pattern is, depending on what you're making, will determine how many of these double crochets that you put in there. When you do that, let's say the pattern called for 6. Well, you did 1, but that turning chain also counts as 1. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, hope you feel better. Thank you for stopping in. 6. So now we have 6 on there. And I should have made the starting ring a little bit smaller, but that's okay. Now we're going to join with a slip stitch at the top of the turning chain. So we're going to go into the chain, bring it through, and bring it through. And you're kind of going to work. My beginning ring that I first made was a little too small. It should have been bigger. But that's essentially what you do, and then you keep going. The other way to start, and again, this is not actually making a specific granny square or circle or round. This is just the technique. The other thing is the magic ring, or the magic circle they call it. So you're going to put your yarn over your hand, wrap it around your first 2 fingers into an X shape, and then with your thumb hold it there and flip it over. Then what you're going to do is you're going to put your yarn in here, grab that, bring it to the front, and carefully hold that into position. All of those loops. And then you're not going to worry about a chain. You're going to stitch. So let's do 3, and then that's 3 chains. And let's say let's do 6. Let's do 6 double crochets. So we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So we've got our 6 stitches over here, and we got all of this here. Well, keep your working yarn off to the side, and you got this tail that's crossed. Keep it crossed, and holding onto your stitches with one hand, and your other hand grab the tail and pull it tight. And then what you can do is you can join with a slip stitch to your first chain like normal, and then that way the center of your circle doesn't have a hole. It's a very tight center. That's how you get that, is with the magic circle. So either way, depending on what it's easier for you and what the finished look is, um, that's just two different techniques, depending on what you're going for. So we've got 6 double crochets there. Our next row, I'm just gonna do a sample one. Our next row, it's all gonna be double crochet. So we're gonna chain 3. And the next row, we're gonna put 2 double crochets into each previous stitch. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that means this round we're gonna have 12. So we're gonna yarn over and into that first stitch, we're gonna pick it up, yarn over, bring through first 2 and bring through the second 2. So we have 2 already there. Wait, oh, I did that wrong. Okay, so back to the beginning. We've got our chain here. We're going to go into the stitch closest to the chain, and do a double crochet. And then the next stitch, which is right here, we're going to go into that stitch, do a double crochet, and do a second one. So we're increasing. So each previous stitch gets 2 placed into it. So there was 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 and 8. 9 and 10. And then this is our last stitch from the previous row. So we put 2 in here. It's 11 and 12. And now we're going to slip stitch to the top of the very first chain that we did on the round. Insert and slip stitch. And that's the beginning of a round. There are other that's just one type of doing a round. There's other ones that you can do depending on the pattern. Sometimes if you're gonna do like a granny square, this is a circle, how do you make a square? You would do in clusters. You would do usually a cluster of a couple double crochets, and then you would chain some, and then do a cluster double, and then chain, and then those chains would form a quarter, which I will do granny squares on a later date. No, we've already done that. I gotta check something. I don't know how this thing really works. Let me check that. Let me get something to drink. I'm going to continue with this. So that was 2 rounds. And Probably to make it easier to see, I'm going to switch colors for the next round. So I'm going to take that slip stitch out. Oh, and that double crochet came out. So you're going to redo that double crochet. I'm going to do the slip stitch. When I do that, I'm going to put the tail of this new color in and kind of pull it tight and then continue with the new color. Okay. And get a little bit fiddly. I'm going to trim the orange tail. And we're going to chain 3. Now for this third row, the first stitch is going to get 2 double crochets, and then the next stitch will get 1. So you do 2 in the same, 2 double crochets in one stitch, 1 double crochet in the next, and repeat that pattern. Also, when you're doing this, when you change colors, you got your 2 color tails here. You're going to crochet them within your stitch. So you're going to hold it along here. So we've wrapped, we're going to put it in, yarn over, bring up, bring it through, and bring it through. And so that's 2 in the first stitch. That's 2 right there. And then 1 in the next stitch. And the whole time, we're encasing our tails. These tails are going to be right there along with our work. And then that will make it so there'll be less to weave in when we're done. So that was a set right there. We did 2 in one stitch and then 1. So now this next one, we're going to do 2 in the next stitch, 2 in the next stitch. They form like a V pattern. So you're increasing. And 1 in the next. Next stitch, we're going to do 2. And then the next stitch, we're going to do 1. Our tails are getting shorter because we're actually working them in as we're going around. So 2 double crochet in this stitch. My tails are too short, so I'm going to abandon my tails. And 1 in that stitch. It could have been a little bit, it's starting to get a little misshapen, but that's all right. So now we're getting 2 in this stitch. And 1 in the next. 2 in the next. And we're coming to our last one. 1 in the last. Oops. I crochet a little tight, so it's probably going to pucker and curl, but that will ease out eventually. And now we're going to slip stitch into the beginning chain. And you kind of work with it. And again, I crochet on the tighter side So it's gonna curl out a bit. That's something I need to learn, is to try to make it a little looser. It should be flat. That's basic crocheting in the round. So your tails have been woven in for the most part. And then you can flip it on the back side and cut them real close. And we're good. I think we're going to switch gears to something else. Let me see if I can go into my... How do I do this? Resize this. And it's in here. My chat went away. Wait, where did my chat go to? That's activity feed. Hold on a second, everybody. Something I need to... How do I... Gotta remember where to change something. Not what I want. Not what I want. That's not what I want. Can't find what I'm looking for. Got that back. Let me try doing it this way. And that's trying to... Oh, it's right in here. Okay. There we go. And let's see something. Let's move this. We're going to make a Scandinavian star. We're going to do a little Christmas. So we're going to change gears. Not all going to be crochet today. And if anybody's watching, if there's anybody here, we're going to make more of these. So, oh, I got to zoom out. So we're going to pick two colors. And I think we're going to do those two. Again, these are strips that are about 16 inches long by about 4 inches wide. whatever fabric you want. I've already prepped this. You're going to fold it in half and iron it and press it really, really good. Then you're going to open it up and you're going to take the edges and bring them into, fold them into the middle and press it really good. And then once they're like that, then you're going to fold it in half again and press it. So we've got four layers of fabric here. That just give it some strength and some body. Some body, not somebody. And you're going to do that to all of your fabric. To make one star, you're going to need 4 strips of fabric. You could do all the same color. You can do 2 different colors. You can, if you wanted to, for whatever reason, if you want to do 3 of one color and 1 of another, or all 4 different. It's up to you. So we've got an open side and a folded side. So the folded side's closest to me. There's an open side. So we're going to lay them all out all the same way. So the folded side is closest to you, or vice versa. So they're all going the same way. Then we're going to fold them in half, but not exactly in half. So you're going to leave a couple inches at the end. So again, all the folds are toward me. You're just going to roughly fold them in half. You don't got to measure. So you can do all 4 like that. Then, with the open side, so the open side is here, the closed side is there, you're going to arrange these so whenever we put them on here, the open side is always going to face a center point on your table. So we've got, let me zoom out one more time. We're going to lay one here with the loop part to the top. Again, open side to the side. Do a little this. Let me go into here. Okay, so our open side is towards the center of our table. So we got our loop at the top and our cut ends at the bottom. Then we're going to take the opposite color, again, open side towards the center, and our loop this time is going to go to the right. So we go up to the right. Same thing with this. Our open part of the fold to the center, but this time this one is going to go loop to the go down, and this last one is going to be loop to the left. So roughly like that. You're going to open one of them. Wait, I gotta remember how to do this. Okay. Doesn't matter which one you do, but you're going to put your tails into, you're going to open up one, put the tails to the next one, and then this one here, you're going to open and you're going to put these tails in there. This one you're going to open, put your tails in, and then the last one you're going to put your tails, you're going to have to open this because this is already inside this. You're going to open this one here, open this loop, and put your tails in like so. So they're all kind of interlocked together. And you're going to carefully get them all towards the center. and they form a woven checkerboard pattern right there. And you get them kind of snug. You want to pull on them, but not too tight that the fabric kind of puckers. So now we've all got our loose ends, our loose sides on the top, and our longer ones on the bottom. We're going to flip them over. So now the longer ones are on top. So you're going to pick one of them, and you're going to take that, and you're going to fold it onto itself like that. So you fold it over, and then you're going to take the one you folded over top of, you went over top of this way, and you're going to fold over. And then you're going to take this one and fold down, and this last one, fold this way. And the one thing you have to do is you have to put your tail under this. So you can pull this out a little and put that in there and then pull it snug. Now they're all kind of roughly the same size. They don't have to be exact. They're not going to be exact. So we've got some thickness here in the middle. And then we're going to start with one of these. It doesn't matter which one. And we're going to take the strip. We're going to start with this strip here on the right. And we're going to fold it, and we're going to make it, the whole strip, go to the right. You're going to fold it like so. Then you're going to flip it over. And that same strip, we're going to fold it. So now the strip is going to go down this way. So it's going to go towards me. And then, wait a minute, did I do that right? Actually, no. Oops. Okay. I gotta remember how to do that part. Okay, since I went around, when I first did it, the way I did it, the way I went around, I gotta go around the same way. Okay. That's kind of confusing. So, essentially, how to explain this? You're gonna find one of these tails and the opposite color where it meets here. See, one side's gonna be the same color, and the other side's gonna be a different color. The side with a different color, you're gonna choose that tail, and you're gonna go into that. You're gonna go outwards from there. That's what we need to do. Then we flip it, and then we bring it back onto itself, like that. And then we fold it onto itself again, and then this tail gets tucked under this fabric. And this, if I remember correctly, the way I did it, I needed some tweezers. You can pull this out a little bit. And you're going to put your tail underneath. And you kind of move it so it's kind of snug. We got our tail flopping out. So we're going to pull it a little bit more than we normally would till it kind of wrinkles a bit. And real close, you're just going to cut this tail. You're going to cut like that, throw your scrap away, and then just realign your point, and it's all hidden underneath. You're going to do the same for the next one. So this way, we're going to be working around clockwise. So this one here, we're going to fold outward, because this is inward to the center. You're going to fold it outward like that, flip it, fold it down across this way, and let me check something. And then we're going to fold it back onto itself, like so. And then this tail is going to be woven underneath this white fabric. And the same thing, you're going to pull a little bit more than you need. Trim it off, and then readjust it. You've made 2 points. Okay? Let's go to this one. You're always going to be working on ones that if you flip it up, you see the opposite color. See, this is the same color. You want opposite ones. So you're going to go like that, flip it upside down, flip it like that, flip it onto itself. This time, you're not going to be able to really pull that because that's connected to that point. This is where we're going to use the tweezers, get it in there and grab onto that fabric. Probably need the other set of tweezers. The other set of tweezers are a little bit better. Yeah. I can grab a hold of it. I can't. Okay, just put my fingers in there. Again, pull it a little more. Cut it off. And then, like so. This next one, fold it so it goes outward, flip it, fold it backwards down over the points, fold it onto itself, and then this one we can lift. We got a long enough tail, so we can do that. Pull it, and trim. Kind of get them in position however you need to. Again, fold it underneath, but going off to the side. Flip it, fold that same tail, now going down, and then take that triangle and fold it onto itself, and then put your tail in, tuck it under, pull it a bit, trim it, and straighten it up. More than halfway done. We got 3 left. Fold it back, off to the side. This one here. Flip, fold it down, and then onto itself. And this one we've got tail, so we can pull that out a little. Push that through. Pull our tail back. Tug on this. Form that. 2 left. This one here. See how it's the opposite color? The tail is blue. That is the white. fold it back, flip you upside down, fold it like so, fold it onto itself, get my tweezers in here, if I can grab it, pull it through there. That's the tricky part, is getting it underneath the woven part. Pull it a little, and we have one more left. Under, flip, down, and over. Gonna grab it with the tweezers again. Get in. Pull it. Reposition. And then you kind of just make certain all the points are kind of looking right. And then you can add a hanger. You can choose a ribbon, you can choose thread, not thread. There's like a trim there. There's another piece of trim. You can attach it along that side. You can attach it this way, like that. So when they hang, they can hang that way, or they'll hang this way. My scraps away. Something to drink. Putting things where they need to be. You can do whatever colors you want. I guess you can do them any time of the year, so they don't have to be Christmas ones. If you just want to use it for decor, if you've got like a country style decor in your house. These are called Scandinavian woven stars. They're also Danish woven stars. They got a couple different names. Real easy to do. Well, I think that's it. That's going to be it for today. I think today's going to be a little bit of a shorter stream. Make certain to follow me here on Twitch. Follow me on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. All the links are in below the chat, the stream. Playing around with days that I'm gonna stream. Oh, hey, copy. I'm playing around with times and days that I'm gonna stream. I haven't really got that down pat. I think Saturdays at 8 so far has been a good thing. I've gotten a lot of responses. I guess people are available then. If you have questions or comments or whatever, I think there's a way that you can send messages here on Twitch. I'm not certain, but you can also leave comments on my YouTube or send me a tweet on Twitter. I don't think I have that many. I don't know if I have that many followers on Twitter yet, but that's there. So yeah, and it doesn't have to be anything specific about that video. If you have questions about other types of things that you can think of, ideas for other type of craft type things, doesn't have to be yarn, doesn't have to be fabric. So you all have a good evening, and happy crafting.